What's up, everyone? Tonight we're going to be doing the Pop Samurai Entertainment block, which is going to cover a lot of good material. And tonight on our contention, we've got top 5 predictions for pop culture in the upcoming decade. So we got a lot to talk about there. We're talking the Morbius trailer, we're doing board game reviews, and we have a whole bunch of other good material for you. So stay with us and get ready for some good entertainment.
Pop Samurai, I choose you!
Is Pop Samurai?
No. Hey, Pop Samurai, if you're not listening to Pop Samurai, then you're doing nothing constructive. Right.
That works.
In a world looking for something to listen to, a group of friends rise to the challenge. It's Pop Samurai.
Yeah. Can you hear us? I hope so. Let's find out. Otherwise, we're doing a triple opening, but I'm going to keep going here.
Keep it running.
Yeah, so anyways, just everybody out there, I want you to know that you can find us on all pop, now for some reason, okay. Anyways.
We're good.
I'm glad they didn't hear that part about where I said all of our fans are extremely attractive and I have a huge crush on them.
It would have been very embarrassing
That
for
would have
you
been
specifically.
so embarrassing
not
if
the
they
host,
heard that.
Joel Peprocki, along with Jelani Jaboy Hoon and Milwaukee Washkoon over there. I just want to make sure that we had the names out there so that in case that sound bit didn't get out there, this is a travesty that's never going to live itself down. So just bear with us here. Anyway, we're doing top contention tonight and we're doing top 5 predictions for pop culture in the 2020s. We are going to be doing all the regular stuff that we do on Pop Samurai, so stay with us for all night long. Yeah, well, we're going to be talking all sorts of good entertainment stuff this evening. So, but first and foremost, I just want to make sure that everybody out there follows us and likes everything that we do here on our social media, which would be Instagram at Pop Samurai Network. You can find all the lovely things on that are Pop Samurai related on popsamurainetwork.com, and you can email us at popsamurainetwork@gmail.com. So, anyways, let's get down and dirty with this list. I am excited to hear what you guys think is going to happen in this upcoming decade, because I actually think I might have some insight. Who knows if I'm right? I'll probably be terribly wrong.
I'm a blood relative of Nostradamus.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's returning?
Awesome. So let's get down with this, and let's start with, I want to hear Jelani's take at a number 5.
Number 5. All right, 10 years to go.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a lot of time to be wrong.
I think
yeah, exactly.
a lot of time to be wrong, right? But it's a long time for me to delay my wrongness. But I think what we're gonna be seeing as a trend in the next decade, because we've seen in the past decade there was superheroes and like bringing comic book stuff to life. I think Hollywood's going to be tapping that anime market. So I think what we're going to be seeing is Hollywood anime movies is what we're doing here.
I like
Right
it.
now, of course, there are live action films outside the United States, but I'm talking about actual Hollywood made based on anime.
Wait. I need to clarify because I'm either very excited or very terrified. Are these going to be live action films?
Could be,
Yes.
yeah.
Live action Hollywood made films.
I'm
is what I'm looking at here.
actually
They're
very
tapping.
happy to hear
I
you
was
say
They're
that.
tapping.
Ugh.
They're tapping that market.
No.
That's
Hey.
what's happening.
Disney, no.
Disney, no, exactly. It's too late. They already own the big one, right?
Ugh.
So, anyways, let's move on to Will. I want to hear what Will's got to say for his number 5.
My number 5, I'm very excited for, and it is something that's going to Totoro adapted to live action. God, I hope not.
It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
I hate you guys so much right now. Number 5 for me is augmented reality getting even bigger than it already is.
All right.
I think that the 2010s were big for VR. I mentioned that in a previous episode. I think that augmented reality, AR, is going to take over even more than just Harry Potter
nice.
and Pokemon. And
I like that.
Sure. So augmented reality grows. Let's say that.
Yes.
Perfect. I like it. All right, then I guess that brings me to my number 5, which is going to be streaming blurs the lines more and more between TV and movies. It's here to stay, and you're going to get large production. Streaming.
That's a good one.
Oh, I thought he meant that we were all going to become the next action stars.
I've
been working on my abs, man.
I know, me too.
Come on.
So okay, I like these so far. We're doing we got our finger on the pulse, I would say. So let's go to Jelani's pulse
of this
of number
rock hard set of abs.
number 4 for Jelani.
Number 4, as you said, streaming stuff is happening. We're seeing the splits, guys. We're seeing the cracks, and there's lines being drawn in the sand here. And Netflix has lost out on a lot of the Disney stuff, and especially it's going to lose out on all the Marvel stuff. Where does it go next? I think what they're going to go to next in the next decade is they're going to be going all in on video game licensed TV shows.
Gosh, I'm so
They jumped into The Witcher.
You're reading
It's
my
catching
mind.
fire. I think the next decade we're going to see a trend of them hopping in on like some good like products here from storylines from video games.
So video game
we
movies,
think-
I suppose.
Well, no, maybe even video game shows. Because
Shows,
remember,
yeah,
we're
movies,
still
shows.
really bad at getting video games right in a movie.
Exactly.
But we've seen a couple instances now of them able to kind of passively translate into the
that's
shows.
true.
Right now we see
Very true.
excellent Castlevania series, excellent Witcher series, and who knows where they go next, Mass Effect series?
Oh, I don't doubt it.
Please
You know,
do
there.
it.
I will get to this later, but it's like there's so much new material out there, new ideas in video games that it's like Hollywood should be
That's a good one.
grasping for this stuff to get new ideas that are fresh. So, all right, well that brings me to Will, who's going to tell him his number 4.
Yes, I do declare that my number 4,
Oh.
I say my number 4
La.
is going to be a very solemn occasion because we are going to put to rest one of our favorite things from the 2010s, and that is our beloved, our revered MCU. I think the MCU will not last to 2030, at least not anywhere near what it is right now.
MCU dies.
Yes.
Wow.
Yikes.
All right.
Crazy.
Thanos.
That's crazy to think about, right?
Sometimes you
Like the-
gotta get a little morbid.
Well, no, but
All right,
hey,
Thanos.
that's a prediction,
Jesus.
so I like
Snap
it.
that MCU away the next decade.
Yeah.
He was only able to get rid of half of them. I'm
I'm
twice as bad as he is.
All right, that brings me to my number 4. And this one has mostly to do with what I would say is computing power in general, which has to do with everything we use in terms of electronics. So I'm going to say quantum computing comes home at the commercial availability level. So
Yes, they've already put out commercial.
yeah, but they are so
facing.
goddamn
They're
expensive.
insanely expensive.
so-
but the point is that consumer-facing tech for quantum computing
Yeah.
is currently being worked on.
Yeah, so that's
Oh.
coming down the pipeline. I think we're going to see a huge growth and ability to do amazing things with regard to like computers that were like, oh man, will we ever see that lifelike type imaging and stuff like that through video games? Well, yeah, just give it some time. So
You think we're
it's
gonna
just going to
get?
be space that's the issue, right? In terms
2030,
of
here we
gigabytes
come.
and-
I was gonna say, do you
terabytes.
think by 2030 we get quantum computing and ray tracing graphics in our phones?
Oh, gosh, yeah. I would say so. Yeah.
All right.
I don't know. I'm gonna stay optimistic.
I can't wait for 2030.
So quantum computers come home.
Hell yeah.
Sorry, let me write this down.
Good
the
insight.
long one. So all right, let's go to Jelani for his number 3.
Number 3 for Jaboy here. As one franchise universe falls, I think another will rise. And I
Ooh,
think what we're doing here is I'm calling, and this is just my fanboy love of it, I think DC rises in the next decade. I think that they've
All right.
been hurt so much and they made so many mistakes. I want to believe that in the next decade they're like, you know what? Let's get this right.
A rise from the ashes. One
A
might
rise
say.
like a phoenix,
Phoenix.
like a phoenix from the ashes.
I love it. That's so fantastic. Although that's
So
it
Phoenix did not rise.
Oh man!
from the
So-
sky, right?
In order for a phoenix to rise, it has to die first.
Yeah,
So,
that's true.
Man.
All right, we're gonna go to Will now. Number 3, hit us big time with that awesome 3 you got.
Number 3, again, I went a little bit pessimistic here. I think we're going to see the real labor struggles within the gaming market in the next couple years.
Oh.
So do you
We've
mean-
already got them starting to organize into unions.
I see. So in terms of either code writing or actual design,
Just
and
all sorts of
all of
production,
it. Okay,
anything
yeah.
lower than the C-suite, really.
yeah,
I
'cause
think we're going to see a lot of stuff start to change because it's an industry known
it's here to stay.
secret.
Well, it's growing too,
that-
like crazy. So
Yeah, you
the amount of
basically have to
people-
be in terrible conditions. in order to
programmers are
work.
already beat upon, right? In
Wow.
general, kind of. I mean, not terribly, but they're in high demand.
Yeah.
And it's like people take advantage of them sometimes. So it's like,
But
I know what you're saying for
specifically
gaming.
people
Yeah.
in gaming who are there only to do what they love. And I think they're finally going to have enough of
So gaming, what do we want to call this?
gaming
Gaming-
labor disputes.
Labor.
I think what happened at Telltale is kind of a
Yes.
sign of things to come too.
It
Yes.
could be the laziest protests I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah. Or it could be awesome as they press one button and give everyone 1 million loot boxes in every game they work on.
That or every screen turns to something awesome too.
Yes.
So, all right, you don't want to mess with gamers.
You don't want to mess with gamers or the people who build games for them.
Yes, exactly. Don't bite the hand that feeds, right?
Oh yeah.
All right, on to my number 3, and guess what that is? America gets over its subtitle phobia.
Ooh, yes, please.
I do everything with subtitles.
Yes,
on.
you do, but not America.
I don't see why everybody's so just like, I don't want to read in my films and this and that or whatever. I was like, man, I do it all the time. I just leave it on now.
Yeah, I'll say we're still in the minority on that one. Absolutely. It's growing, but I would say that maybe in time we see it actually grow to a point where it doesn't really matter because we realize that great stuff can come out from across the world.
Yeah.
So I can't read that at the moment. Let me see. A trademark war, huh? Ideas and property. Ah, that's a good call, Yukito. I would say that. Yeah, but is that a battle for I own this property versus somebody else coming out of the woodwork? I don't know. We'll discuss it in a little bit. So let's then move to our number 2s. I want to hear Jaboy's number 2. This is gonna be hot fire.
I know we're
hottest.
I know we're pessimistic about what comic book this is gonna fall and rise and blah blah blah. But what I'm predicting in the next decade is we're seeing a trend with how films are being made now and everything like that. I will say my prediction for the next decade is that within the next decade, a comic book film is going to win an Oscar for Best Picture.
Oh,
No way.
I'm predicting in the
For
next
Best
decade,
Picture,
Best
yeah.
Picture comic book film is going to take it.
For Best Picture.
10 years
What a
to do
world.
it, and it's got to, I mean, as long as it's a comic book film, I think it's going to take it. We got Joker right now in the running.
No, I know, and you're not wrong. It's just something's going to come along that we didn't think of that has
Exactly.
such an amazing
Exactly.
story. And I mean, you've
Howard the
listed a
Duck.
few. I'm sorry.
I
Yeah.
Howard
would
the Duck.
I would love it if
Absolutely.
Howard the Duck was the one to do it.
Well, I'm just thinking. You've listed quite a few comic books or told us about, and it's like those stories are so imaginative. So it's just it's crazy,
lots
and they're
of
not
stories
even
are very
they
there are a
haven't
lot
even
of
been
really
touched yet.
really great stories.
Yeah.
Stuff that's untapped yet. I think we're getting one. I think we're getting one for us boys.
All right. Well, let's wait and see what happens.
We'll see.
Will,
Yes.
in the time that you're waiting, why don't you tell us about your number 2?
In the time that I'm waiting.
Yes, so you're waiting for that to happen, so you
Okay.
can just go ahead and tell us your number 2.
Okay. Well, I'm going to start waiting starting now.
Yeah.
And
right
I'm
away.
going to start
You
telling
were
my
already
number
waiting,
2.
in fact.
I was. Yeah, I'll keep waiting. Number 2, I think.
I'm waiting for this number 2 to go.
I think in the 2020s that girl creators are going to take the lead.
Girl creators?
I
Yeah.
think we're going to start seeing more and more girls step into the nerdy space. I think that Me Too and Gamergate were ultimately good things for our communities.
Yes.
And we are going to see really good girl creators, like we've seen in just about every other form of mainstream media.
Yes.
We're going to start seeing them come into board games a lot more, come into video games a lot more.
Sure.
We're going to see them, I hope, directing comic book films soon.
Yes, I mean they have been doing some, but like we're gonna see like a huge upswing in it. I think.
But
I
I
think we're gonna see it.
I think it's gonna happen pretty dramatically, and I
Yeah.
think it's gonna happen in the next.
Or let's say
year
it
or two.
becomes even to the point where it's not a non-issue.
Well, but that's the thing, is from what it is now to becoming even is a long way to go.
Oh, I know.
And I think
Well,
it's
hey,
gonna happen
I-
quickly.
I don't doubt it. I'm
And
just
so I
trying. I'm
think
trying to
it's gonna
formulate
be
what it is
surprising.
exactly. So I agree with you, though.
Yeah, I think it's going to
be.
be like a surprise when it hits, and I
Sure.
think it's going to hit pretty quickly.
Hell yeah! Awesome.
That's what I'm calling.
Very cool. All right. That brings me to my number 2. And this one is kind of a broad topic, but I'll try to formulate it really quickly. I'm going to say a Hollywood renaissance. And what I mean by that is
Ooh.
I think we're sick of the same copy paste and all of the, I don't know,
All of the doing things that have already been done.
reforming. Yeah. How about instead of just having even source material, why don't you just go ahead and make a new thing? And
Yeah.
I think we're going to have to eventually, because we talk about this often on here, people vote with their dollars, and they're going to be tired of, blockbusters and things like that. I think we'll see a different type of Hollywood scene emerge.
The
over
roaring
last-
20s are back, baby. Here
I
we
know.
go.
Yeah. And that's not to diss the things that have happened or come out of Hollywood entirely, but it's just like we constantly have this issue. Yeah, just a little bit. So Hollywood renaissance from me. So all right, that means that we are now done with our number 2s. We have some runners up that I want to hear from you guys. So Jelani, if you have a few, go for it.
Yeah. My runners up, short and sweet here. I think we're gonna get VR become more prominent. I think we're gonna get full tracking. Like I think there's gonna be a huge jump in technology with the VR. I mean, we're already seeing it with like the ability to track full motion with the hands now.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna get full tracking VR by the time we get to the end of the next decade.
Okay.
Mass Effect Revival Trilogy. I think we're getting a trilogy. I think we're getting
Wow.
one. I think
What do you mean, though, a remake?
they've been so quiet, right? And they've been so just like, what are we gonna do about this? I think when they announce the next Mass Effect game, it's gonna be the start of a new trilogy, and it's gonna come out, and it's gonna be full on like we're investing into this. This is what we want to do for the fans. It's gonna be a total leap.
I will go play them if that happens.
You're gonna play the original
I
trilogy.
know.
We're gonna
Buddy,
make
look how
you. We're gonna
mad
strap
they
you.
are.
We're gonna
Buddy.
strap you down. and
You're gonna
make you
tape
play
my
it.
eyelids
I'm
open.
not even
If I
allowed
could-
to be friends with you right now.
If I can
Just
play
to-
if I can play The Witcher 3, you can play Mass Effect.
Oh, I don't.
Okay. I expected it from him.
Hey, you know what, dude? That's sci-fi. I love that. I wish I just had more time to play
No.
games, and I
We're
will
just
get
gonna
to
strap
that
you
one.
down.
I
That's
will
what
get
we're
to
gonna
that,
do.
and I promise because
Yeah.
I love the way you guys portray it. It sounds like it's the best game that's ever hit the earth. So
He's
all
not
right.
gonna like it because we've done it. We've
We've
talked about so
way
much.
over-
yeah, it's Stockholm syndrome for me at this point.
Other things, I think in the next decade, I'm sad to say it. I've been a fan. I was a fan when I was a kid, but I think WWE. I think it's going away. I think it
Really?
falls. I think it falls in the next decade. I think there was so.
Do you think it's because of AEW giving them competition?
I think that, but also I think just mismanagement. There's been a lot of like drop in the numbers.
But you
they're
don't mean the sport in general.
not the sport in general. I think
Okay.
we're still gonna have wrestling shows,
Okay,
but I
yeah.
think by the end of the next decade, WWE is not what it is today.
Ducks out
There's
or
gonna be a
gets
fall.
purchased
There's gonna
or
be a
something,
hard
yeah,
fall,
yeah.
and I think maybe it won't be completely gone, but there will be a completely different show than what we're seeing today.
I can kind of see what you're saying because it's still kind of a remnant of the past.
Yeah, it's very much a dinosaur right now, and I think there needs to be a huge change.
Okay.
So,
Yukito, real quick, I just wanted to bring up something he mentioned. He said new big fantasy blockbusters. By the way,
he was telling you were full of it.
Yeah.
When you said no blockbusters, he said yes blockbusters. At least I think.
Right. Anyway, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Jelani. Go ahead.
All right. I'm sad to say it, but Bethesda, we've seen a little track record of some mistakes they've been making. I think we're gonna see another fall. A lot of my pessimism is my list here. I think a lot of people are really excited about Elder Scrolls. I'm very tentative right now. If this next one comes out and if it's just more of the same and it's not what they're not innovating like they were, I don't know if we're gonna see them be as prominent as they were. So
Okay.
I'm expecting a Bethesda fall is what I'm looking for in the next decade.
That's rough for them.
That's a surprise to me.
Yeah,
Hey,
I'm a big fan
consumer
of
opinion,
Bethesda.
let's
I'm
say
a
it
big
that
fan
way,
of
so.
Bethesda, but like their track record right now is not as great as it was.
Yeah.
And so like I'm hoping
Somebody
fingers
call that a
crossed,
one-hit
but like
wonder.
I'm predicting right now in my honorable mentions, Bethesda a hard fall for Bethesda.
All
So
right.
and that's what I got. Short and sweet.
Cool. Will?
I think that so I didn't have many. Actually, I don't have any written down, but I was thinking about it while he was talking. I think we're going to see a rise in the popularity of arcades again.
Yeah.
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 More specifically, I think we're going to see a lot of these beercades that are showing up.
Mhm.
I think those are going to become sort of a golden standard going forward.
Yeah.
I think every city in the country is going to have one.
Adult entertainment, but not that kind.
Yes, precisely.
Or both.
Hey, that'd be the best kind.
I also think we're currently in the golden age of board gaming, and I think it
Yeah.
is spreading. I
Okay.
think that we are seeing board games become more and more mainstream, and I think they're going to continue.
So when you say golden age, it's not on its peak. It's just on its it's blowing
It is
up.
a wonderful time to be in board gaming.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right. I like that. Very cool. Is that all you got?
That is what I've got.
Cool. That's what I got. All right. For me, two short, sweet ones. And it's funny because I gave a huge nod to Jelani as he was saying these. The first one that I had written down was honestly video game movies and shows. I was expecting more of that, and I was like, let's see if they can do it right this time. And as I mentioned before, it's just that because we basically said that it's that there's new ideas within there that are untapped in terms of bringing it to a different audience. So if it's outside of a game, maybe there'd be something there. Then the next one would be Hollywood anime. And I was surprised to hear you say that because I was thinking that the entire time. And that had to do with my Renaissance, but that's why I put Renaissance on there.
Mhm.
So that's all I've got. So let's move to the first round.
That's all you got?
Yeah, I know.
Holy
I know.
shit.
Well, I really didn't have that much time to put this together, as you guys might have noticed
Okay,
today.
all right,
So
all right, okay.
anyway, let's move to the nomination round. Let's talk about round number one,
Oh, no,
1
no,
through 5.
Wait. What did we do?
Oh, we didn't do number ones. I'm sorry. Flying through this. Clearly, my mind is here today. So let's go to Jelani with his big number one.
Guys, I'm gonna shoot for the stars on my number one here. Right? I'm shooting for the stars here. Y'all know I love Kojima, right? I do love Kojima, and his last game, very just very it was what's the word I'm looking for here? Lackluster,
Oh.
bad, maybe. There were mixed
Overhyped, maybe.
opinions on it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Okay.
And Kojima is that type of game creator. He's an iconic game creator. He is one who is like he's fucking Spielberg of fucking
Yeah, I would say something like that. That's a good analogy.
I am predicting as my number one. I think with the kind of like lackluster game that he put out right now and the realization after like Game Awards and like how it wasn't as what he wanted it to be, I think the next Kojima game is a complete masterpiece is what I'm going for here.
Wow.
I'm shooting for the stars on this one. I think Kojima is coming. He's hungry for it.
Are you serious?
I think he has something to prove. I think he has something to
I
prove.
think he has a lot to prove, and I
He
think
has
he's past his prime.
I think he has a lot to prove.
Wow.
Especially after a little tumble, a little fall right now.
It's humbling.
Lights a fire underneath the crater.
Yeah,
and I think someone
as a creative mind
who was treated as he was with Konami, I think he's got a lot to prove. I think I think his next game that he develops, I think he's going all in. I think he's putting everything into it. I think it will be a masterpiece.
Okay.
Is what we're looking at here.
So I'm putting Kojima's masterpiece.
I think it's gonna. I
like
think it'll happen.
Okay.
I'm fairly certain. 10 years to make it. I mean, I'm sure he's got plenty of time to do it.
Wow.
It may
I'm
take
shooting.
that
I'm
long.
shooting for the stars.
Such a bombshell. Yeah.
I'm standing behind an excellent creator who
Yeah.
needs to prove something, and I want him to prove something.
I love it, Jelani. That is really cool. I did not see that coming.
Yeah.
What about you?
Oh God, mine is terrible. I don't even want to talk about mine.
Oh,
now.
come on, go for it.
That took me so far by surprise.
Yeah, that's cool though. That's a good one.
I
like
want to
that.
stand by a
Because-
creator that I believe in.
Yeah, I totally.
I believe
like
in
that.
Kojima. I
like
believe he can do it.
I like that. That's
Oh,
cool.
Yukito gave us his prediction, which
Hasn't
is
popped
Pop
up here yet.
Samurai 100,000 subscriptions.
Well, that's already.
I
on its
mean,
way. Come on.
we're on track,
Yeah,
guys.
exactly. Come on now.
We've got them right where we want them. Oh, very.
Thank you, Yukito. Though we appreciate
I
that.
Very, very.
We appreciate it.
optimistic.
Thank you so much. We love you.
All right, Will.
Oh,
Give
mine's
us-
so generic.
No, it isn't. Go for it.
I didn't do this right. I literally wrote that nerd culture will dominate the mainstream. That it'll continue to expand.
Revenge of the Nerds.
Yes.
I love it.
And so basically ironic hipsterism and sarcasm and all that stuff, it's gonna go out the window, and it is gonna usher in a new age of sincere excitement for things. People are going to be allowed to express themselves sincerely and their excitement for things, and not be afraid of getting shamed for it.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you might not say at work that you're a gamer or something. I get what you mean, and instead you might even put that on a resume or something like that.
Something like that.
So you know what? That's not a bad one. Don't feel bad about that. That's
so generic,
That's something, no,
though.
but that's something we're all hoping for in a way.
Yes, it is. but
Meanwhile, we're currently kind of still the underground in a way.
we're literally underground right now.
Well, right now we are. Yeah.
We're in a bunker.
We are literally in a
Coming from
Fallout vault.
from the Pop Samurai bunker.
I love it. I
All
love
right,
it.
what
hey,
I'm
you know what
calling
though?
this from
could-
now
this
on.
I
is
like
better
that.
be
I
what
like
you
that
call it.
though. That's really cool, Will. And yes, you can call it the Pop Samurai bunker.
Pop Samurai bunker.
Yeah, exactly. We need to get like one of those radiation like signs that says
Hell yeah.
Fallout shelter, or
Yep.
something like that. So, all right, I like this.
Where we will be sheltered from the fallout of Fallout.
76 at least.
Because apparently Bethesda is going to go the way of the bomb.
Goodbye. All right, that brings me
that's
to my
Bradley.
number one, guys. I'm going to hit you hard with this one. You guys touched on it both in your own way, but I'm going to take it a step further, and I'm going to say that it's augmented VR gaming. And the way that I portray
Augmented
this
VR.
is imagine your landscape around you gets transformed into the game, so that you are
Holy
playing
shit.
Doom in your house, running around shooting shit, and all going around all your stuff.
So you're
you get-
talking about Ready Player One.
so
You're
you
talking
get
about
you get
full-on Ready
but
Player One.
Ready Player One was still running in place. I think if you had a safe area to do it, you could just it'll map an image over everything around
In
you.
real time.
That's cool.
Yeah. And we might have the computing power to do that. So I'm saying augmented VR for number
Nice.
one. So
Bravo,
that's
I like
mine.
that. It's a good one. It's a good one.
All right.
I think technically it'd still just be augmented reality, though. Unless it's full.
yeah, but
talking
you're wearing like
full
a
immersion.
and yeah, exactly. Where it's like you're wearing the goggles. It does
That's-
what you were talking about with all your tactile, well, not tactile, but your tracking and whatnot.
Yeah.
But then it's also tracking your environment and projecting an image
That's
in
cool.
the thing. And it's not just what the phones do, where it's like, yeah, you put a Pokemon here or something.
Yeah.
But you can tell it's like that's very infantile version. So I don't want to get into it right now. I'll argue it for it in a little bit. Let's get to our round of nominations now at the correct point in time.
You got it, man. You got it, man. Brush off the
So-
cobwebs. It's all right.
Yeah, exactly. It's been a while for me. So, all right, let's start with Jelani then. For where on the list would you like to put one of your items on your list?
I want to. You know what? I'm gonna shoot for the stars on this one too, guys.
Ooh,
I'm throwing that Kojima right up at number one.
all right.
I'm shooting for the stars in this.
Oh, buddy.
I know it might get taken down, but you know what? I believe.
I don't mind it. I like that. That's interesting, and I'd like to hear more of your thoughts on that. So, Will,
For number 5, I'm gonna say MCU is
Okay.
gonna die.
okay, very opposite ends of the spectrum there.
Yes.
Dies. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, you're so young and naive and optimistic.
I am.
I was like you once.
Ah. All right. I am going to go middle of the road on this one, and I'm going to say number 3 is America Subtitle Phobia is gone.
Okay. Cool.
For number 3, you said?
Yeah. Subtitle Phobia. All right, is gone, by the way. That's not, it doesn't come here to stay. So, all right, let me get a couple minutes here on the clock for us. Sorry about this. Just bear with me. Timer, 3 minutes, but you each get a minute, so I'll just do a minute for each of us. Let's start with the number 5, which is MCU dies. Will, are you ready?
Yes.
Go.
Okay, so I think we'll all agree that after the smashing success that was Avengers Endgame, MCU is riding high. This might very well be the peak. And what I'm thinking here is I remember at the end of Avengers Age of Ultron, when they sort of hinted to passing of the torch, and you're sitting there with a future that looks like no Iron Man, no Captain America, no Thor, no Hulk, and you've got people like Scarlet Witch and Vision leading the way. I was kind of sitting there and I'm just like, oh God, there's nothing, there's no next step. There's nowhere for them to go. They have done such a great job of building properties that all weave together and that we all want to see on one screen. And they just nuked all of them. So, well, I think they will continue to make good movies. They might even make some great movies in the 2020s. I think by 2030, we're largely going to be out of the MCU.
Perfect timing.
Wow. Good.
All right.
I mean, he makes a good point. Like,
Yeah.
what's the next? Who's replacing who? You know.
Well, and we could talk about how big the Marvel universe is and how many characters there are, but let's say that they started off real strong with, I don't know, busting their nut on essentially their bigged franchises.
that they
right?
had, that they owned at that point.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
who
yeah.
knows where they're gonna go next?
I know. So Jelani's optimist. He's like, don't kill the comics movie.
I mean,
They're still gonna be around.
I think they'll still be around. Like,
Yeah,
I'm kind of like, I can see his point.
But it's also because of Disney. So let's just blame it.
It's also because of Disney,
Yeah.
who has been striking out a lot recently.
And
So
they need
I'm
to be put in their
worried
damn
that
place.
they might react badly and try to grab more control from the Marvel people.
We'll see.
And then where are we
Good
going to
point.
be?
All right, number 3 is me, America Subtitle Phobia. I'm going. 1 minute on the clock. All right, so for me, I've been watching subtitles. We all admit this here, that we all watch subtitled movies and probably have for the majority of our lives. And that's never been an issue. But have you ever met a person who's like not even considered that? Because I have, and it's peculiar to me. And the reason that they say they don't do it because they don't want to read, first of all, but second of all, because most of the time that entails, very obviously, that it's coming from a foreign country to the United States. And that would mean that you'd have to deal with a different cultures, ideas, and concepts. And a lot of people are comfortable in their own shoes when they see something from where they're from. So what I'm saying is, I think people start to say, I want to see something different, in fact, and I am willing to give it a try. And then when they give it that try, they're going to find out that it is damn well worth it, because there is a lot of good shit coming out from around the world instead of just out of Hollywood. So America Subtitle Phobia, it's coming here to stay. That's me.
Yeah.
All right.
We can read.
We
and
can
we're
do it.
gonna do it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Or get an earpiece that can translate.
Yeah, I was gonna say Google Voice being in your ear would also, or Google Translate being in your ear would also be excellent.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Jelani, you've got to do your
All right.
your big topic
Here
in
we go.
1 minute or less. Ready?
Yes.
Go for it.
Listen, we're part of the creator content, and we're creators. We want to believe in other creators, and this is one of our boys right here. He is a fan of stuff. He is a fan of movies. He's a fan of films. He puts stuff that he likes together, and he had a hard fall, right, with the company that like turned on him. Who he's made nothing but great games every single time for them, and he went off on his own. He's like, I'm gonna make my own thing. I'm gonna do my own company, and stumbled a little bit with his first game, and it's just the belief that like I want to believe that like one of our shining stars, one of our guys, is going to be able to have the willpower and the drive and the passion that he still has, and he still has it because he still has the passion to do it. That he has something that he needs to prove. He's gonna have that fire lit under him right now, and I believe that. I believe that like he has that full-on power and fire that's burning in him right now after just a little stumble right now, that he needs something to prove, and the next one is going to be a complete masterpiece from him.
All right, I like it. Do you have any inkling what he might try to do? Come on, take a guess.
I don't know.
I just read an article on this, so I will tell you if you're right or not.
I mean, we'll see.
He's like, and he's retiring tomorrow.
Yeah, Hideo Kojima said that he hates us all and he's leaving the planet.
Yeah.
Well, no, he actually said he was going to start dabbling in horror games.
Oh, well, thank God.
And
dude, if he
said that he's gonna he hinted that he's gonna go kind of meta with it, in like the fact that you create a game, the game's players become the creators, sort of a thing.
And again, his ideas, out there.
Yeah, they're out there.
He's done amazing things. One, Metal Gear Solid, like the entire series is amazing. But then he also made a teaser that has like that skyrocketed off as like just like one of the most amazing horror things ever. Yeah. And so like he has the ability and the to do this, and he has something he needs to prove.
Well, and I hate to sidetrack or go on any tangent, but I feel like we left something out of this, and I just wanted to mention it as kind of a runners up. So I'm sorry, but I wanted to say video games might get a more prominent award ceremony that becomes extremely mainstream by the time that the 2030s.
I mean, there's
I know they're big. Maybe, you know what I mean?
I mean, in the last decade, we've seen that. We've seen
and it's
that
growing
video game
quick.
awards grow
so
immensely. So
yeah. So I'm just saying,
I vote on the Steam Awards every year.
No. I know. I'm just saying. All right, guys. Let's do some voting. Let's start with the number 5, which is the MCU dies. Will, go ahead.
A very sad and solemn yay from me.
Jelani?
Now, I can see your points. I do. Yeah, I think with what we're seeing right now, it's in that lull right now. There isn't like, we don't know what's going on. So I think I'm gonna go yay.
All right. So it's on there, but just so you know, my opinion was I totally agree. Something's gonna have to give at some point. You can't have that type of success constantly with just the same formula. So MCU dies goes to number 5 on the show list. So MCU dies. All right.
I vote on the Steamies every year.
All right, let's
I vote on the self-esteemies every year. It's me standing in the mirror telling me all the greatest things about me.
Aw. Somebody has to.
Oh.
Yeah, it doesn't take very long.
All right. Let's go to number 3, which is me. I'm going to say America Subtitle Phobia is a yay. So then let's go around the same way. Back to Will.
I'm sorry, which one is this one?
America Subtitle Phobia.
Oh, good.
I think it's also going to go away. I think that we're going to see a lot more foreign films, and I think we're going to see a lot more subbed anime coming in and actually just hitting theaters.
Okay.
Even if it's just some one day, like, promos.
Sure.
Be great.
Okay. And then Jelani, just
you're going to jump to me?
Yeah, I want to hear yours.
All right. Yeah, I believe that. I think we're seeing a lot more directors go with more different language films. We've seen some international films like get really popular in the past decade. I mean, like we got Parasite this year that was outstanding out there. So I think it's gonna go away. I think we're gonna see more subtitled films become more prominent.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right. Awesome, guys. Thank you. America gives in to its subtitle phobia and gets rid of it.
I'm really looking forward to when we can just do this entire episode in
Subtitles.
subtitles. Yeah.
Yeah. I can stop pretending to know English.
Well, hey, let's just take an example real quick here. You guys notice what's on Netflix a lot lately? We're getting tons of international shows,
Yes.
and
We
there's a
are.
reason for that because the audience is growing. So, all right, and it doesn't matter where it's from because all the different
I'll
stuff
just
is
stick with my Great British Bake Off.
Number one.
very good.
Number one.
Number one.
Number one.
Johnny.
Number one.
We're going to you.
Number one.
Yeah.
Is Kojima's next game going to be a masterpiece? I believe it is a yes.
All right, all right.
I want that presidential thumb.
I know. I noticed.
Believe
that. I was gonna
yes.
say that. Yeah. All right, then
Don't
I'm gonna
ask what Kojima can do for you. Ask
Because-
how many titles of Death Stranding you can buy for Kojima.
because Will made that joke. He is the one to vote next.
Ah, that is fair. I. Which
Technically,
is
yes.
That's what I was saying.
I need
But I
subtitles
don't
when I
need
watch.
subtitles for it.
I need subtitles for the British.
I was
Great
saying the British
Bake
Bake
Off.
Off
that's
I don't
awesome.
understand any of these,
is
Yeah.
charmingly for
Oi! These scones are excellent, mates.
And we've just lost all of our international viewers.
I'm like, I don't know what you said. I need subtitles.
Too
All right.
good. Too good.
You're the worst.
All right,
All
Will.
right.
Tell us what do you think? Is Kojima gonna hit it or is it a flop?
I'm sorry. I think you picked the wrong horse. I think Kojima is done, and I think Bethesda is going to keep going. So I am going to say
Rough.
nay.
Wow, you just shit all over
All right.
shit over my honorable mentions too, huh? All right,
Okay.
cool.
So sorry.
All right, that's cool. I
Man.
mean, it's cool
All right.
when it happens.
You knew if you
Cool
gave
on you.
me the second vote, you were going to get tortured by it.
I know, and now, yeah, but I didn't know where you were laying on that one because the way you were portraying it before was you were very surprised. So I'm kind of surprised by your answer. Now,
No, I couldn't get behind that. I don't believe it at all.
Okay.
I am so sorry.
I personally think he is quite an innovative mind. I think PT is where it fell off, meaning that it's too bad that had to be a Konami production. Essentially, was it essentially? I think it was still owned by.
yeah, I mean, he
Konami.
couldn't make
Fox
it.
Sound.
Yeah,
No, that is. That was because it's. I mean, it's what's it called? But he just called it PT. So, anyways,
I mean, PT. It's
Silent
just short for playable teaser. That's
Yeah,
what
I know,
it is.
I know. So
He just couldn't make it. But I mean, the game he made before that was Metal Gear Solid, what, 5?
well, he helped
that
on
5?
that and then
That
got
was
knocked
5?
off of it. But yeah,
And which is considered
one of
to
the better,
be
yeah,
like
one of the best
better
ones.
ones. But I mean,
So-
like, again, go ahead, continue.
Well, my thought was just that it's like if he had the ability to put aside some of his, I would say he's got a little bit of an ego, and that's fine for a creator. I would
That's
say
fine.
that that's somewhat needed to be able to take another wild step and then take that as a director and say, no, we're going to do this, but the issue is he seemed like that happened with this game, and maybe he sees now, like you're saying, that he was wrong, and therefore he might put out a great game. However, I can't say that it's going to necessarily be his masterpiece.
All
next.
right.
So I'm
All
sorry.
right.
I
All
love
right.
Kojima's work, and I am one of his big fanboys. And I had to step back a little bit and
Oh, you were just ready for that, weren't you?
Yeah.
You
I
bastard.
don't know what you're talking about.
All the salt in the world, right?
I'm sorry, Johnny.
That's all
It's
right. That's
gone.
fine. That's fine. I want to believe. I believe.
I
Yeah,
hope
shot for
I
the
hope
stars.
I'm wrong.
I am too.
I do genuinely
fine.
hope I'm wrong
That's fine.
because
'Cause
obviously I do love Metal Gear Solid.
Well, and I think he's a
Alright,
great mind of our time. Absolutely. So I just don't know. There might be better games that come out that make. I don't know. We'll see. I
It's
don't
all
want
good.
to.
I'm just concerned that at this point in his career, he's used to making games. Like, I think his best years are behind him because now he has so much rope that he just hangs himself every time.
Yeah, but he's got a lot of money behind it, so he can start
I
again.
guess.
fresh.
I mean,
No doubt.
I mean,
A lot
I
of the
suppose. I
assets
mean,
are
like,
available.
and what was the last bad game he made before this one? I mean, this technically a lot of people like this is a mixed review game. It's not considered bad,
No,
but
I
it's
know.
like
I know that.
I
They're
haven't
split.
enjoyed a Metal Gear since 3, if I'm being
Really?
honest.
Okay.
yeah, and that's and love 3. 3 is
Yeah.
probably my favorite,
Yeah,
right?
it's
But
like
I love the
the
original
magnum
trilogy.
opus,
But
yeah.
like the other games, the follow up to those, which is what is it?
Sons of the Patriots, and then number 5 is
Ground Zeroes.
Ground
and-
Zeroes was the pre one. Then it's called God. Why can't I think of it?
What's the last one? Phantom Pain. I'm
Phantom
sorry.
Pain, that's it. Yeah, I was thinking.
All
of
considered great
Venom
games,
Snake, but it's not,
right?
yeah.
They're
Yeah.
like a lot of people really like those games, and those were never considered bad games.
Yeah.
Even with the whole stigma of like the whole thing that happened with Kojima on 5,
yeah,
it's still considered like one of the best games.
absolutely. Yeah.
But
and it's like the best playable version of it.
Yeah.
It's an issue of do
So,
you like what they
you
did
know,
with the story? So.
I just believe that like his track record,
Yeah.
it's never had a stumble. This is a hard stumble. Not only with him like leaving and it's like I'm gonna do my own thing, and then he stumbles. I think someone can pick themselves up from that.
Absolutely. And I'll say this, Death Stranding is a beautiful game.
Yeah.
An absolutely beautiful game. Now, there are just some issues with it other than that. But regardless, he's on the right path with making amazing type of visual things. So, all right, let's move on to round 2 now. Let's then go to, well, who did we start with last time? We started with Jelani, right?
Yes, I
So-
believe it is your turn.
Okay.
Or is it? No, it's
We can
well,
go to you. We can go to you. That's
we'll
fine.
go to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you have 4, 2, and 1 available.
4, 2, and 1.
I'm going to say for number 4 that
Wait.
I think that girl creators
Get
are
him,
gonna lead
Amy.
the
Get
charge.
him.
Lead the charge
At what one though?
at number 4.
Number 4. So yeah, what did I kind of name it as? Women creators. Yeah. So women creators take charge. Okay. Then I guess we'll go to me, and I am gonna say that. I'm gonna say that streaming for number 2. Streaming dominates, or
Yeah.
not dominates, but at least becomes a viable production for the major stuff. So,
Yeah.
all right. So streaming.
Maybe we see Netflix get Best Picture as well.
Something like that, yeah,
Yeah.
along those lines. But you get what I'm trying to say about that. So streaming at number 2 for me. And Jelani, what about you?
What were the nominations so far?
So far,
Yeah, so far, right now.
women creators for number
Double
4,
barf.
and number 2 is streaming wins or stays or whatever.
I'm gonna live and die in this number 1 spot here, guys.
All right.
This is what I'm gonna do.
I like
I'm
it.
gonna go. A comic book film wins Oscar for Best Picture. I think in the next decade it's gonna happen. So number 1.
Damn, I wanted to compete for number 1.
Not me.
Well, you son of a bitch. All right, then let's get back to it. Let's start with number 4. We're going back to Will again. 1 minute on the clock. Are you ready?
Yes.
Go for it.
Okay, so as I mentioned to, or at least alluded before, I think that things like the Me Too movement and Gamergate, well, they had a lot of very painful moments, and understandably so. I think they're going to end up being a net positive, and I think the first place we're going to see them really be a net positive is we're going to see a lot of new voices in traditionally male-dominated spaces throughout the decade, to the point where it's almost a stark contrast between last decade and this one. I'm hoping for damn near close to equality at the end of the decade, because we're talking about things, favorite properties that we love already getting stale. Could you imagine if all of a sudden we had a way to completely flip the narrative and the perspective of superhero movies on their head? That's women creators. I think we're going to see directors. I think we're going to see studio heads. I think we're going to see streamers that aren't just booby streamers. I know they exist, but I'm sorry they give them a really bad name.
Your time's up, but go ahead and finish your thought.
We're going to see a lot of new stuff out of people who have historically been excluded from sharing those viewpoints.
Okay. All right.
And I think it's going to be great, because I think that the barrier to entry is lower now,
Okay.
and it's going to continue being lower.
Okay. All right. I like that.
Sorry I went over.
No, you're fine. You're fine. That's not too bad. You took a whole nother minute, so we'll knock off your thing right away. I'm just
Oh,
kidding.
God. Oh, God, I failed them.
I'm just kidding. Barrier to entry lowered. Raised up
failed
again. I'm
everyone.
just kidding. Yeah, exactly. All right. Then number 2 is me with streaming. I'm going. And basically, we're already seeing this happen. The division into multiple sub companies, I guess, like Disney branching off, and then you get Hulu, and you get this, and you get that, and all these different ones. Well, and Netflix showing that it is a viable production company itself, as long as they have lucrative means to have the revenue to even produce things and have the resources in terms of equipment, I would say that sorry, I'm just reading the chat now. I would say that no matter what we do, it's going to happen. Disney eventually is just going to be like, look, we're going to start putting shows just directly on there. They're already doing it with Mandalorian, and it's probably killing it. It's just what it requires to get people to subscribe to their thing. Well, it might be the content. So let's see if they can put out some fresh content, which is going to kick some ass. So that's it. I have 3 seconds. 2, 1. I'm done. Jelani, you are going to try to tell us why comic book films are going to win. Ready?
Good.
Go ahead.
Guys, what we're seeing right now is we're seeing films in the comic book genre that are just blockbusters, and we've seen that trend for a while. But now what we're going into is the idea of character studies. We're taking ideas of this year's The Joker, which is nominated for Best Picture in the Oscars and technically could win. So technically could win.
Could win.
I mean, but technically that would count for last decade, so whatever. But I think we're gonna see more of that. I think we're gonna see more of kind of like a different way of comic book films being made, other than just like here's the big bombastic tentpole events. We're gonna see the quieter films. We're gonna see the films like the Joker, where it was like a character study on mental health. We're gonna see film like Logan, where thank you so much, where it was like taking a different genre and adding it to this, and it's I think we're seeing films that are really well done, and I think we're gonna see that trend happen where, like you said, MCU might die, stuff's gonna still be around, and the quieter films, I think that they're gonna be a stick around, and they're gonna win some awards.
All right, I like it. We can only hope, because that means good movies for us, right?
Yes. Oh yeah.
All right, let's get to voting for number 4, which is Women Creators Take Charge. Will?
I think it's a big yay from me.
All right. Jelani?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah?
I believe it.
All right. And for me, I'm going to say yeah, and it's about time. Come on. It's about
time.
do this.
Let's
So
go.
number 4 gets on there, Women Creators.
Girls, get your paychecks. I'm telling you.
All right. Number 2,
Landscape changing. Good.
Number 2, I had streaming up there. I'm gonna say yay. Yay. Will?
I'm gonna say yay as well. I think that it's only gonna keep getting better as the tech gets better.
Okay.
And we're already seeing it.
Yes. I believe it's a big yay for me as well.
Okay. All right. So streaming takes number 2. Question is, can Jelani get his number 1 for the second time?
We'll see.
Jelani,
I'm shooting for the stars. I only want one spot on this list, and that's that number 1 spot. Is that how you do it? Football, right? Like
yeah.
That's
You really hit a home run there, bud.
Good. So a goal?
Yeah, you slapped that slidey puck hard.
That's
All
right.
So you get a big yay out of Jelani. I'm gonna go next, and I'm just gonna put this one on Will and say no.
You're the worst. You're the worst person.
Son of a...
How dare you?
And it's not because I don't think because I think you're wrong. I think it's because there's better number 1s.
I only wonder if I'm going to regret this as soon as they give the award to Joker.
Yeah.
Because if we say technically that was 2019, we're in trouble. I believe it's going to happen. I think with the fall of more campy traditional movies like those you see in the MCU, we're going to see a rise in artsy, thoughtful, really sort of sincere takes on power and control.
Sure. Okay. So you gave that a yay.
That is a yay from me.
So that means Jelani just won the number 1 spot.
Coming for that number 1 spot.
Commensurate with his win, Jelani would like to tell all of the fans that he quits effective immediately. See you later, bud. You earned it.
That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank everybody who
but not Joel, who didn't vote for me.
Didn't vote for me.
Yeah, there you go. Give him this award. There you go.
Thank you so much. I want to thank Satan
Don't make
for always being
me
there.
Ricky Gervais this. Come on now.
And
all right.
all right.
The only reason I would have said no is because I wanted to argue my augmented reality. So you get angry hips. All right.
In another reality, you might have gotten to do just that.
All right. Cool. We got a good list here, and I don't know what to say about it.
Other than you better read off that big beautiful list.
There it is.
Beautiful
All right,
list.
guys. At number 5, we have the MCU dies. At number 4, we have women creators taking charge. At number 3, we have America's subtitle phobia disappears. And number 2, we have streaming takes charge. And at number 1, that big, beautiful number 1 that we're all jealous of, Jelani stole it. I'm just kidding. He did a great job with this one. Comic book films are going to win big from here on out. And I think that's absolutely true. So, hey, you guys, these are our top 5 predictions for pop culture in the 2020s. The next decade should be pretty wild. We want to know what your predictions are out there. And if you have any that we didn't think of, please let us know in the chat. And when we come back in just a few minutes here, we'd love to maybe even read some of those out there. So stick with us. We're going to take a few-minute break here, and then we're going to be back with Pop Aficionados. So stand by. We've got all sorts of cool things to talk about with you guys.
Keep chatting it up.
Bye. All right.